Hey, this is Tim. Thanks so much for watching. This channel is about mortgages, it's about credit, it's about money, it's all kinds of stuff. Thanks so much again. And if you like those topics, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Leave me a comment. I'd love to make a video on whatever question you have. On this video, I want to talk about that you don't have to rent. Now, renting is just basically the start. You know, you start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. I rented. Everybody rents at one time. Everybody has a roommate or everybody lives at home, but you don't have to continue to rent. I recommend renting for a year or two, maybe 3 years. I actually rented for 7 years. I was afraid to buy. My biggest fear was that something would break, like the furnace, the roof, and when something breaks, I wasn't good with my hands, so I'm thinking if something breaks, I spend all my money, and then I use credit cards, I'm in debt, and that was my biggest fear. And I ended up going to 3 different apartments, over the course. And at the 3 different apartments, they were okay. And the first apartment, I had a great deal. So I was 25 years old. I already had a degree. I graduated college. And it was just time. I came back to my parents. And then after a year, I was just tired of being there. And I, went out. It was really easy, actually. I went to a place, filled out an application. I gave them like $300. This is a long time ago. And they literally gave me a move-in date, 30 days later. And I remember showing up a couple weeks before. We did a walkthrough. I looked around. They put some fresh paint on there. And it was great. I moved in, and I just started buying furniture at different places. And then I realized I wanted to cook, and I didn't have any pans and all that stuff. So I went out and bought supplies. So I was renting there. And then eventually I realized there was another place in a better area. So I moved there. And then I was renting there, and then they raised my rent. And then I'm thinking if I was gonna pay that, then I could go pay that over here. So I went to an even better area. And then of course, eventually they raised my rent again. And at that point I was like, man, I'm tired of this. If I'm gonna pay, at the time I think it was almost $800. I was like, if I'm gonna pay $800, I think that was 3.5 years, 4 years ago. I had my home for 4 years. And at that point, I was like, if I'm gonna pay $800, I might as well get a mortgage. So I went and got a mortgage, and my payment was actually $100 cheaper. And then literally a year after, or a year and a half after, 2 years after, I don't remember, COVID hit. So it was a refi boom. So I went ahead and refinanced to a 15-year. My payment went up like $200, but I dropped my rate over 1%, and it was great. And then my biggest fear, nothing really broke. I remember when I first moved in, I had a home warranty, and I paid more money for the home warranty. The home warranty was gonna cover like the roof, my dryer, my washer, basically cover all the appliances and things like that. But nothing broke. And then, finally I started, making a lot more money, and I put a privacy fence, I put new floors, I started painting. When I first moved in, I didn't have a lot of money because I put my down payment, my closing costs. So I didn't have a lot of money. But after a year, I started saving, building my savings account up, and then I just started making a little bit more money, and then I remodeled my whole house. And then I can show you before and after. It's totally different. And then it was so liberating when I had my home. I remember walking in there after I get the keys and I close, and I was like, wow. This is mine. Like, what do I do now? It was crazy. So then I got all my furniture from my apartment, and then I, moved in. And I just want to encourage you, I don't know where you are, but think about it. And like I said, you don't have to rent. A lot of people feel like they have to rent, or they feel like because they had a eviction or their credit's too low or they don't have any money, they feel like they have to rent. And I'm here to say you don't have to rent. So you just have to have a game plan, and you have to understand it's your biggest purchase. It may take time, but some people are ready. They just got to take that leap of faith, and not listen to all the news and the rates and stuff like that, or your Uncle Joe and things like that. And another thing too, what I like about it is that I'm 37, and when I turn 48, I'm gonna own this home. So I'm not gonna have a payment anymore. And I bought this home for $100,000. I wanted to buy a nice small starter home, and I'm sorry about that. My battery went dead again. Where was I at? So everything just kind of fell into place and went well. And I'm telling this story, just to encourage you. I don't know where you are, I don't know where your journey is, but like I said, the value went up. And then my game plan now is to buy another home. So that's my next journey, that's my next goal, to buy this forever home. And what I'm thinking is buying a really, really big home, remodel it. I want to live in it for about 20 years, and then when I turn 60s, I want to sell it, get a bunch of money, and just kind of downsize, and then keep this home and maybe give it to my son, and just have a home in the family. And that's something you could do and pass on wealth and kind of a legacy, and keep a home in a house. And it's important. I don't know your reason or your motivation. Some people motivation is that they want to build wealth, and a home is a great way to build wealth. Some people get tired of renting. Some people just think they can't do it. So whatever your reason, your why, it's important to know your why. And you may not succeed the first time. The first time they may say you have to work on your credit. You may need to save more money. You may need to pay off this or that. But if that's something you want to do, everybody can get a home in 2 or 3 years with the right steps and right plan. So, and I believe everyone deserves affordable housing. I really believe that. But my biggest thing was the pain point of them just keep raising my rent. And now with inflation and gas, everything is going up, but my mortgage payment hasn't went up. Oops, sorry about I'm sorry, and my mortgage payment has not went up. So I just want to encourage you, tell you my story, let you know where I'm coming from. And I want to hear your story. What's your motivation? Or if you're happy with renting, keep on renting. But that's my story, and I want to share that, and hopefully that motivates somebody. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.